This is a free download from the BBC. For more information, go to bbc.co.uk/podcasts.
Hello, dear listener. Congratulations. You've won a special prize. When I say a prize, I don't actually mean a prize. I mean a podcast. You've downloaded it. It's now sat on your computer, your iPod, your other MP3 players. Are there any other? I don't think so. Or possibly even your telephone. I hope you're not one of those annoying people that plays music loudly on buses via your telephone, because you guys really do deserve to get a slap round the bum cheeks. Coming up on the show, you'll hear some phone calls, you'll hear some bants, and you'll hear some other bits and pieces. Shall we dive straight in? Yes. Ruth called up to talk about leaving children in baths.
Leaving children in baths.
Did that happen?
That's what she suggested you did.
What? Oh, yeah. Last night, right, so my eldest, he's 4.5, and he was really pushing it, okay, and he wouldn't get out of the bath. And fair play, he'd not been very well that day, he'd been throwing up that day, but he was still pushing it. And he's there in the bath, and he says to me, I said, right, we're going to get out of the bath now. No, I will not. Right. I said, son, you're getting out of the bath now. You disgust me. I said, I beg your pardon? You disgust me. Don't you dare speak to me like that.
He's copying Daddy.
Whoa, what? Really?
I think so.
I don't think I've used the word disgust, or have I? Maybe.
You've got a play school.
Yeah.
Yeah, they pick things up.
Yeah.
You know what I do? I actually use reverse tactics with them mostly.
Oh, go on.
No, pull the plug out, get out, and it's like going out the door. You know, I see you ready, they're messing about. I said, right, I'm going, I shut the door. I'm coming.
Oh, I've done that in the past.
Yeah.
And then 10 minutes later, he's sat in an empty bath, covered in bubbles, still refusing to get out.
Yeah. Fine, just leave it. Just do it a couple of times.
Okay. Leave him overnight?
Older. Yeah, you could do. Yeah, but take a blanket in there.
Ruth, thank you very much. There we go. Child rearing tips from the olden days.
I'm not sure we can advocate leaving children in baths.
Yeah, you wait until you have kids, Paul. Then you'll do anything you need to. And to quote Malcolm X, by any means necessary.
Is that what you do?
Yeah, by any means necessary. Mr. X certainly had a good point. I think he was talking about bringing up children. I'm not totally sure what his beef was.
It probably translates.
Yeah. You disgust me. Don't you talk to me like that, son.
If you hear a whisper, give us a shout.
Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Grumpy old so-and-so, Matt, who really, I think we need to install some kind of ban on him calling in, said the best way... Well, he had a rather Victorian attitude to getting children out of bath. I say Victorian, they didn't have showers in those days.
Morning.
How are you, boss?
I'm all right.
Yeah, good. You don't sound it. You sound as miserable as ever, but go on.
Oh, I've got a bit of a stinking cold, son.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I bet you are.
Yeah, not really. Yeah. What have you got for us?
You're on about getting your boy out of the bath?
Yeah, wouldn't get out of the bath, and he said you disgust me, he said.
The reason he said that, he's exactly like you.
Excuse me?
He's picked that up from you.
I beg your pudding?
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And then all you got to do is get the shower and just put a cold shower on him quickly.
What?
And he's straight out.
You need to spray a 4-year-old with freezing cold water?
Don't need to be freezing. Just get the shower, turn it on.
Why don't I do it with boiling water?
Well, you could do, but that would be a bit cruel. Yeah.
And you think that yours isn't cruel?
No.
Wait, listen.
It's quick. It's quick.
Matt, listen, it's not 1914, OK? You're not 5 years old again, having a bucket of water chucked over you and some coal while you're having a bath in the frying pan like you did in old days.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Why don't you insult me more often?
OK, I will do if you want. You're not having to go scrumping to steal apple because you've not got enough bread in ration, and we never saw banana till we were 52 years old.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
You see where your children pick it up from?
Probably from you.
No.
Probably from grumpy old people like you.
No, I haven't got a morning show. You have, and he probably listens to it.
Yeah.
And thinks, that's my dad. I'm going to copy him.
He thinks Martin Luton is such a pain in the old...
Pain in the old Arsenal, yeah, I know.
Pain in the Arsenal, yes.
Yeah.
That, I'm gonna be really grumpy and miserable and rude to my daddy like Matt is, despite the fact that my daddy is an awesome guy and is one of the most awesome people in the world. And
you're talking about me again.
No, talking about me!
This is Iain Lee
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Scoins is here.
Hi.
Maybe for not much longer.
Huh?
Sorry?
Really?
What? You've been producing? Let me move that so I can see you. You've been producing?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Producing?
Why are you doing it in quotation marks?
And it's in italics.
It's not a quote.
Sorry? Well, no, but you've been producing.
Right. Yes, I have. That's...
Yeah,
I was in the rotor
in italics and with quotes.
Who are you quoting?
Well, no, I'm saying you have been producing.
Yeah.
In italics and quotes.
What does that even mean?
Sorry? It means that you've not been producing very well.
Really? Got any ev?
Yeah.
Brackets evidence?
Yes, I have. This. You allowed me to slag off the moon on the radio. Are you nuts? What fun story have the Chinese given us today, Scoins? Come on. What laughs are we going to get from China today? I suspect they'll be very, very thin on the ground.
Page 3 of today's Times, the headline, China sets sights on a mission to mine the moon.
Hey.
They're going to mine helium.
About time.
Locked in dust particles. And the Times here says that it could fuel the world for thousands of years. And next...
It will fuel the world in helium. It's not going to fuel the world. It will fuel balloons and idiots.
No, there's new technology that's going to mean that helium is a power source.
The thing about the moon, okay, and this is about time we did this. The moon is so smug, isn't it? It's just so smug and arrogant. Of all the satellite stars, whatever it is. I'm going to call it a baby planet. Of all the baby planets, the moon is the smuggest of the lot. It just sits there, changing shape, changing size. Is there a man living in there? We'll never know. That's a mystery. We'll never. Is it made out of cheese? Well, until someone lands there, we will never ever know.
Whoa, hang on. Until someone lands there. Correct.
We will never know whether the moon is inhabited or if anyone lives there or anything like that. They mean the same thing.
Okay, you're not Elliot Gould. It has happened.
All right, mate, calm down. We haven't even built a spaceship yet.
What?
Are you nuts? But the moon just sits there winking at us. It's like it's almost flicking us the V's every night. Yeah, I'm so far away. What are you going to do? Well, we're going to send China to come and mine your backside and take out all the helium so hopefully you implode, you smug satellite.
Are you saying that the moon is effectively arrogant?
Yes, I hate the moon. I hate the moon. Do you know when the moon got cocky?
What?
When DreamWorks used it as its logo with that little lad fishing from the moon. You watch. I hate the moon. It's about time we taught it a lesson. It's a shame it's not us. It's a shame it's the Chinese. I don't care.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
What music do you like, Scoins?
I like...
Too slow. What music do you like, Ellis? Why can't you just answer the question straight away? Ask me.
What music do you like, Iain?
The Monkees. Right, let's try again.
It's not a type of music. It's a band.
Yeah, that's what I was confused.
You could say late 60s kind of psychedelic, pop music.
All right, OK, sorry. OK, sorry. What genre of music do you like, Scoins?
Dutch hardcore gabber.
You see? Pressure's on you, Ellis.
He chose my favourite as well.
What band do you like, Ellis?
Dr. Dog.
Dr. Dog? Did you just make that up?
No.
Who are Dr. Dog?
They're like a folky pop band from America.
God, they sound awful. Sing one of their songs to us. Hang on, I'll put some echo on. Go.
Okay, there's this really good one that's about camping, but I don't really want to sing it now.
I like to go camping. Camping.
How did you see? You said you didn't know them.
We take the football and we kick it around when we go camping. We're camping. Cooking the beans on a stove outside. Sausages. I'm making love in a tent. Anyway, my least favourite bands are Bob Dylan and Jimi Hendrix. They're singers! Bob Dylan's songs are too long. Do you know why? Because he's a lousy singer-songwriter. All of his songs are complete and utter guff unless another band gets them and makes them good. Like, I don't know, someone as talented as the Manfred Manns or indeed the Byrds.
The Byrds.
Every Bob Dylan, and I've tried with Bob Dylan, I've looked this away, I've looked that away, I've gone early Bob Dylan, I've gone late Bob Dylan, I've gone Christian Bob Dylan, I've gone mid-70s Bob Dylan, I've gone late 60s Bob Dylan, and all of it is without a shadow of a doubt complete and utter guff. The only person in popular musical history who is worse than Bob Dylan is let's see if Ellis can guess this. Who is worse than Bob Dylan, Ellis?
Worse than Bob Dylan?
Yeah.
And there's only one person that's worse than Bob Dylan?
Yep.
Oh, man. Marilyn Manson.
Oh, for goodness sakes. No, Marilyn Manson is actually done a couple of good songs. I'll give you a clue. He's a left-handed gentleman that thought, before he died of drugs, who thought that it was appropriate to do a wee-wee on his guitar on stage and then set fire to it.
Oh, Hendrix.
Yeah, Hendrix. Fuck there, lady. Just play a song on your guitar, mate. Stop playing it with your teeth and then kneeling on it, and then we know you're pretending it's your willy. I know what you're doing. You're making it phallic. That's what he's doing. Just play us a song, mate. You can do a little guitar solo, but why don't you do a guitar solo that I can understand?
Along the Watchtower is quite a good song.
No, it's not. That's a Bob Dylan song done by Jimi Hendrix. You've just got the two worst people in musical history together with the worst song ever. What is your beef, Scoins?
No, it's a good song. It's got a good lick.
It is a good song.
Right, work experience. Right, work experience can't hear me, but he's fired.
Yeah.
Right. So he can't hear me. He's fired. Scoins, you producing this show. It's still a trial period. Right? I can still go, actually, do you know what? No, I don't want Scoins producing this. I'll have, who's the good-looking Irish fella that does JVS? Barney Cudd? What's his name? Oh, talks like that.
Barry.
Yeah, I could ask Barry to do it. I could ask, Justin, I mean, let's not be too crazy. I could even ask What's-Her-Face to come back if I wanted to. Get Boyle back if I had to. So just watch it, right? Now, All Along the Watchtower, what do you think about it?
It's overrated.
Thank you very much indeed.
If you hear a whisper, give us a shout. Yeah. Iainlee, it's Coolio.
Quite often during the show, I'm not really listening to the show. I'm busy sorting out my social life, as I was this week when I was booking tickets to see the hit movie The Nut Job. I lolled. Well, Wayne wasn't very happy about it, and he called in to complain, and that's what you're going to hear next. I've gone to the pictures to buy another set of 3 seats, right? You'll know about this, Ellis. You're trendy and young.
So trendy.
OK. I've gone to the pictures on the website to buy some seats, right?
Yep.
And it allocated me 3 seats. I mean, the film looks rubbish, but...
Sounds great.
What am I going to do with kids all afternoon again? 2 days in a row, I can't...
Oh, is this the squirrel film?
The Nut Job.
Apparently it's surprisingly good.
Oh! Now she wants to come, right? So, it allocated me 3 seats. It went through... And then it said, do not refresh, and I refreshed.
Oh, no.
And it said, we cannot process this now. Right? But then I've gone back to get another 3 seats, and the first 3 seats I was allocated are grey, which means that someone's got them. Have I got them?
Oh, no. What about your email? Can you check your email?
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually.
Do cinemas send you confirmation email?
Oh, I don't know, actually. Do they?
I don't know.
They would have to send me a confirmation email.
Ian, you know, in terms of the reviews for The Nut Job...
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest.
Yes, mate.
They're not hitting particularly great numbers.
What do they say?
Well, according to Rotten Tomatoes, which is a
cynical adult website, yeah.
It's a review site which...
It's cynical,
It draws all together a number of reviews and gives them a score.
All right, mate.
It scored 10%.
Oh. OK, right, yeah.
Out of a possible, obviously, 100%.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying.
But it's for a 4 and a 2-year-old. They watch any old rubbish and think it's good.
Let's look at The Guardian, one of their...
lefty, muesli munching, sandal wearing hippies. All right, yeah. When they put down their doobie, what did they write?
They've said, while hoods plan a bank heist, furry critters conspire to raid the nut store. It's all been done better,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Solid voice talent includes imitable rasper Will Arnott as the surly squirrel, but they don't come more surly sounding than Arnott, but he brings little joy to this mechanical affair. Not my words, Ian, those of Jonathan Romney, the Observer critic.
Well, hang on a minute. Well, then that's the only film that's on at a convenient time for me to take the boys. Oh, I'm going to have to do stuff with them, aren't I? Again, 2 days in a row. How to Train Your Dragon Part 2. We watched the first one yesterday. It's on at 4 o'clock. It's a little bit late, and it's 102 minutes.
The Scottish Daily Record, Ian.
Oh, for goodness sakes, what do they know about movies?
They've also talked about nuts, and they've talked about those terrible instances where people have allergic reactions to nuts. And they said, thinking about it, at least being struck by anaphylactic shock will get you out of sitting through the rest of this furry fiasco.
Right. OK, well, listen, I think Paul in Biggleswade is on my side. Morning, Paul.
Good morning, Ian.
What can I do for you this morning, Paul?
I've got something I'd like to whisper in your ear.
OK, you whisper it and we'll shout it.
I'll whisper it. And while you're at work being paid by the licence payers, I'd appreciate it if you actually did a little bit of work rather than sitting there booking cinema tickets for you and your family.
Right, so you want my kids to go without, do you, Paul?
I beg your pardon?
You want my kids to go without, do you?
Yes, I want them to go without.
You want 2 children, 4 and 2, the most lovable boys in the world, one's been sick, to go without? Really?
Look, I'm sorry. This is not going to tug at my heartstrings.
I don't want to tug anything of you.
I've got no sympathy. Well, all I'm saying is I'm speaking up here for the listeners.
Have you?
Just hang on a minute.
Have you?
I'm talking here for the listeners.
Have you?
While you're at work, being paid at your vast expenses.
Yeah, £750 a show.
I'd appreciate it if you actually did a bit of work rather than booking your blinking family outing.
Have you noticed any dip in quality today while I've been booking these tickets?
I have in the last 10 minutes, yeah.
No.
I'm not interested in the nut job, some blinking cartoon about squirrels.
Well, you might like it.
No. I'm no intention of going.
Well, hang on a minute, Wayne.
I'd appreciate it if you just did what you're paid to do.
You don't know what I get up to at other times during the show.
Well, I can only imagine that, can't I?
Wayne?
Good morning, sir.
Wayne, you've seen the nut job. Do you think Paul would like it?
I think Paul would love it, actually.
Tell Paul in Biggleswade why he should go to see the nut job.
I think, Paul, you'd love it. It's very engaging. It has an interesting storyline, and then you're able to maybe take part in it as well. The shocks and the horror. Not quite horror, but, the entertainment overall, yeah. I think you'd love it.
Few laughs in there, Wayne? Few giggles?
Absolutely. Kids love it.
Paul?
I'm sure it's a lovely film. I've no objection about the film whatsoever. Who's it aimed at? 3-year-olds? I suppose that's just about your level then, Ian, isn't it?
Well, the boys are 4 and 2. Oh, hang on a minute. You were having a pop at me, were you, Paul?
I'm having a pop at you.
Paul, so you don't want to come and use one of these spare tickets I've got for the nut job?
I mean, I don't know what you're on an hour. You must be on £100 an hour. You've just.
And then some, mate. Try doubling it.
£200 an hour.
That's correct. That's the figure. Yeah.
In the last 10, 15 minutes, while you've been doing that, we've forked out. That's cost us.
Go on, work it out.
About 50 quid.
Hang on a minute. Paul,
worse.
It's getting worse because the only reason we're talking about the nut job now, and thank you for your excellent review, Wayne. I appreciate that, mate.
Yeah.
Have you seen How to Train Your Dragon Part 2?
Who are you talking to now?
Paul first.
No, I haven't seen it.
Wayne, have you seen it?
Not yet.
OK, well, let us know if you do. Thank you, Wayne. He's good there. We'll get him as a film reviewer. I like him.
If it had been the Transformers you were going to, then I might have come along with you.
I'm not going to... You really are insane. I'm not going to take a 2-year-old to see the Transformers movie. He will poop himself.
Really?
Of course he will. It's terrifying. Paul, listen, the reason that we're talking about it for the last 10 minutes, do you know why?
Why is that?
Because you phoned in to have a moan about it.
Oh, well, I better go then.
Thank you, Paul. Here's Dave in Luton with his regular load of old guff.
If you hear a whisper, give us a shout. I'll come round, break your legs.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
Ooh. This is iainlee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The catchphrase has taken a very, very dark turn. Spiders! In a minute we're going to speak to Peter Wrigley, a gentleman who's got some, horrible spiders living with him. Disgusting. Dave?
Good morning.
How do we get rid of them?
Good morning, tough guy. Well, laugh, innit?
I'll give you a Chinese burn that you wouldn't forget in a hurry, sunshine.
You're so tough against the girls and Paul in the studio, against Justin, against Dennis and Matt. But when it comes to spiders...
Yes, mate.
You want to put your foot on them, don't you?
No, I don't. I don't want my body to touch them. I want to put a big, heavy book on them. I want to eradicate them from the face of the earth. What do spiders do, Dave?
Kill flies, mate. And if we didn't have spiders, our homes, our country would be covered in flies.
No, our homes. Let's forget the country because that's just even more ridiculous. Yeah. Our homes would not be covered in flies like an old piece of meat in a Pakistani market.
You'll have all the flies flying around, but these spiders kill them. Not just flies.
I can kill
other animals.
I don't mind flies. I can kill flies with a bit of fly spray.
Oh God, you're a tough guy, aren't you? Now you're coming along killing flies. Well, you should kill them in a sense, because they carry diseases, but a spider doesn't. I'll tell you what.
Yes, Dave.
Go up to Whipsnade Zoo and ask the keeper up there if you can put a tarantula in your hand.
You get out of it! Why would you even suggest that, you criminal?
But no, what are you talking about, you criminal? I'm telling you, go up there, get the tarantula in your hand, and I'll tell you what, you'll never be frightened of spiders again in your life.
The thing is, tarantulas aren't really spiders, are they? Spiders are like big black things that run around in the kitchen. The tarantula's not a real spider.
Yeah, like somebody did the other morning in my house.
Yeah.
Furry Fred put their foot on him because he was laying sprawled out on the floor in the morning.
Furry Fred put a pot on a cat?
No.
What?
Somebody put their foot on Furry Fred.
Good.
After years in the house.
They are disgusting, horrible things, Dave. Just like you.
Don't let me come down there, pal. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean, pal. I'll get a big book and crush you against the wall.
You're not big enough, and when you are, you'd be too old.
Oh, I will teach you a lesson, sunshine. You never forget.
Well, good, mate. When are you going to do it?
Yeah, well, whenever you want, fella.
Well, yeah.
Get in the car park now and I'll see you out there. I'm not joking. I'm in that kind of mood.
Yeah?
Yeah?
So am I.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah.
Yeah?
So stop you whinging on about little spiders.
Yeah, OK, I've forgotten about spiders. Now I'm talking about Daves. Let's get rid of all Daves.
Hold on, you be careful, mate, because my mate's not listening. He's a great big hefty bloke. His name's Dave.
Well,
so...
I'll wipe the floor with you first, and then I'll batter him in the ring.
You've got a mind that can't think properly.
You've got a mouth that can't speak properly.
Do you think you could put me on the floor? Yeah.
I could totally pin you down and have my way with you.
Oh.
I could finish you off in seconds.
If that's you on the back of buses, well...
Yeah, I'm on the back of buses. I'm a big star in Beds, Hearts and Bucks.
Well,
It's only if we don't have complete reach of the thing.
But stop ranting about little spiders. I
notice you're changing the subject back to spiders and not about me giving the whopping of your life, sunshine.
Okay,
Goodbye, David. Goodbye, David. Dearie, dearie me.
Across Beds, Hearts and Bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's one of those days. We're talking about spiders because a gentleman from Sandy is convinced that one of his bins contains at least 12 different species of baby spider. We'll speak to Peter Wrigley in a moment. But Justin Delia's taken... You've taken this one to the streets, haven't you, Just?
Morning, tough guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've met Dave, and you could take him. Don't worry about that.
I could get him down on his knees and finish him off like that.
Yeah, he's nothing. Absolutely nothing. Now, as you mentioned a moment ago, you like to kill spiders. You actually get something from this. I've taken this one to the streets, Ian, and again, it's pretty graphic what's coming up here. I've been asking people, how would you kill a spider?
And what did they say?
This.
Oh.
Morning, sir. What's your name?
Sandy.
How would you kill a spider? You look pretty hard.
I don't kill spiders. I normally just grab them and throw them outside.
From Iain Lee's breakfast show, how would you kill a spider, madam?
Oh gosh, with my slipper.
So you take your slipper off, just slap it.
Yep. So we're on a hurry to the doctors.
Yeah, I think you need help.
I would step in it, depending on how big it is. If it's little and fragile, I would pick it up and put it in the bin.
No, I wouldn't. They scare me. I don't go near them.
The spider? How do you kill a spider? Probably crush it. I don't kill the spider. If it does me any harm, then I do kill the spider.
I put it to you, sir, you're a murderer.
No, I am not. I'm not. Sorry, it's time for me. I need to go.
I don't like killing animals. I can put them on a towel and put them out of the window.
We've got a man coming on who's got 12 different species of spider in his bin in Sandy in Bedfordshire. What's your advice to him?
Well, I admire him for looking after them so well. I think that's what's important.
Feel the love.
Good, bye-bye.
Good, bye-bye. Justin, stay there, because I want to talk to you in a second. But Peter Wrigley is the gentleman who claims to have all these different spiders. All these spiders are living in your bin, are they, Peter?
It's Peter Rigby.
Peter Rigby, I do apologise.
R-I-G-B-Y, as in Eleanor. Yeah, more than one bin. We've got 6 bins, plus a recycling bin. It's a block of flats, and they haven't stayed in the bins. They've used the bins as incubators.
Oh.
Yeah, even warmer in there. Yeah. Nice and dark and, just the sort of place a spider likes to lurk.
What kind of spiders are lurking there, Peter?
Oh, many more than 12 now. We've an old mate, Dave Yendall, who's a real specialist in so many wildlife issues.
Yes.
He has been going through the textbooks and he's found some really frightening things. Tropical tent web spider, I've seen that.
A tent web spider?
Yes.
Is that poisonous?
It is. Wait a minute, it's pretty nasty anyway, and it would make Shelob look positively pussy-like, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know what Shelob is, but yeah.
Join your middle finger to the thumb and make a big circle.
Yes.
That is the size of the body.
Oh, what?
Yes, and it has 4 white spots that look like eyes on the back. And when it's resting or being, a little bit
I've
defensive...
just Googled it. It's horrible. It is horrible!
It's frightening. It puts its rear legs round the body and the front legs around the back, and it looks a bit like a crab. And you think, oh, that's interesting.
That's an interesting crab.
When it moves, you sort of leap back. You don't want to... And I saw it leap. It leapt. I had it on a windowsill at the front of our building, overlooking the front door, and it had got there somehow. I guess it had crawled. It had found its way up a wall when it was a tiny one, and it was eating harlequin ladybirds. Good for it, because they are not very nice things to have.
What's this about a white widow?
Yes, yeah. I found the white widow with her egg, and she was eggs. A big
plural
white cocoon, yes. Lots of them. And every time I moved it, or it moved, it rolled away, she quickly whisked it back underneath herself, and the more I showed an interest in it, the more she glowered at me. She got on top of it.
What noise did she make?
Oh, I didn't hear.
No.
I probably need some sort of... To hear spiders, I would think they're going... and a very low register saying, pee off or something to that effect, and I wouldn't want to argue with it.
Are you not tempted just to pour boiling water or crush them with a Bible?
No, what I would strongly suggest, anyone that has millet coming in for the birds...
Yes.
When they're disposing of it, dispose of it sensibly.
Yes.
First of all, put it into a container that will contain bleach with a chlorine addition. Chlorine bleach.
Yes.
That will kill the eggs.
Yeah.
That will kill the eggs and any little spiderlings. I hate to do this. I love spiders.
No, you don't, Peter. You love to do it.
I grew up in East Africa and they were all mates there, but these are strangers. It's this thing about strangers. We don't take well to strangers, which is sad.
Are you racist against spiders?
No, but I don't know them well enough to avoid being bitten by them. And we have and the danger is too. Australia is now with a big immigrant population. It's exporting millet, and it could be exporting the Sydney funnel web.
Peter, say that, Justin.
Crushing a spider with a Bible? Did you just say?
Yes,
wow.
That's perfectly feasible.
Of course it is. It's what God would have wanted. What would Jesus do? Justin, now I happen to know for a fact, Justin.
Yes.
You're a bit like me. You're not a fan of the spider.
No, I don't like to kill spiders, but let's just say I don't like them. I don't like spiders or snakes. Terrifying.
Right. Okay, well then your mission is at some point, maybe for Friday's show, to go to Peter's house And have a look at these spiders.
What, Peter Rigby as in Eleanor? No chance.
No, but...
I don't trust you, and also I don't trust these spiders. They're poisonous spiders living locally. Why have I got to go?
Because you're my...
Why don't you go?
I am chained...
Take the Bible with you.
I am chained to this chair. Peter, would you mind if we sent Justin along to verify
No,
this?
that would be excellent. Is he a specialist on spiders, or is he arachnophobic? Because
He's a specialist on 1960s American hit records.
Very good, okay.
But Peter, Justin, we're going to... Right, that's happening. One of the big stories of the month has been the situation in Gaza. Well, this week there was a protest in Luton taking place. We thought that we would talk about it and the situation in general, so we had a rabbi and someone from the Stop the War coalition on at the same time. Let's just say they didn't really agree with each other. David Cameron is facing criticism from local MPs who've rallied in support of Lady Varsi, the former minister who resigned from government yesterday over the government's position on Gaza. On the front of the Times this morning, there's a report that Dominic Grieve, MP for Beaconsfield, has also expressed concern about the proportionality of Israel's actions. Well, a meeting is taking place this evening in Luton, hosted by Friends of Palestine. One of the speakers is Lindsay German from the Stop the War coalition. Good morning to you, Lindsay.
Good morning.
We're also joined by Rafi Kaiser-Bluth, rabbi at the St Albans Masorti Synagogue. Good morning to you, Rabbi.
Good morning, sir.
We'll come to you in a second, Rafi. Let's start with you first, Lindsay. What exactly are you hoping to achieve with this meeting this evening?
Well, it's one of hundreds of meetings going on around the country which are to show support for the people of Gaza. It will be discussing the political issues, how to get aid, how to help the Gazans in all sorts of ways. But also we have a very big demonstration in London on Saturday in support of Gaza again, and we hope that many people from Luton and elsewhere in the area will come to it. So the meeting is part of a build-up towards that.
Why do you think Gaza needs your support?
Well, because I think what's happened to Gaza in the last month has been an absolute atrocity. There are now nearly 2,000 people dead. There are more than 10,000 buildings have been destroyed. And Israel doesn't seem to take any notice of anybody when they say don't do it. And we feel particularly that our government needs to be much, much stronger in its condemnation of what has gone on. We're calling for a recall of Parliament, and we want a situation where people actually recognise that we can have some influence over this, and our influence should be to stop Israel doing what it's doing, not sending it arms all the time, which is what's going on.
What do you suggest the British government should be doing?
Well, I think they should stop sending any arms. I think there should be sanctions on Israel. I think there should be breaking of diplomatic links. All of these things the British government could do very, very easily. But what is happening, Israel is allowed to get away with it because countries like the US and Britain do not do this. And the people who are suffering are the Palestinians, who are suffering dreadfully.
OK, let's speak to... Do I call you Rabbi or Rafi? What's the most appropriate?
Either one is fine.
OK, Rafi, it's an atrocity that the British and American governments are allowing to happen. What's your take on that?
Well, atrocity in what sense? My question is, what is it that you think is going on here, and what is it that you think would be an appropriate response? It seems that we claim that, yes, Israel has a right to defend itself, but then when Israel does defend itself, they get shouted at and screamed at. And it's also this idea, this notion that Israel is occupying Gaza when, in fact, Israel has pulled out of Gaza in 2005. I'm wondering why we aren't shouting and screaming about the government of Hamas cutting off relations to them, stopping funding to them.
Lindsay, he has a point in that Hamas are firing rockets into Israel, aren't they?
Yes, but if we're talking about Israel defending itself, this simply isn't what's going on. Israel has a major air force. It's been bombing the country for the last month. It has tanks, which have been a ground force in Gaza.
Yes, but Lindsay, why is that happening? Ask yourself this question.
It's happening because repeatedly Israel has occupied more and more Palestinian land. As you
Excuse me, I need to stop you right there. That is just factually incorrect. Israel is not occupying Gaza.
Hang on a second.
Israel does not occupy Gaza. Israel is not occupying Gaza.
You can repeat this as much as you like, but the truth is that since 1948, Israel has occupied successively large amounts of Palestinian land. This is continuing with the illegal settlements in Jerusalem and in the West Bank. And it is absolutely ludicrous to talk about Israel as defending itself when it has been attacking the Palestinians for the last month.
Rafi, your response?
Lindsay, can I ask you a question, please? What is it that you think that Hamas wants out of this? What is their ultimate end goal here? Do you think it's simply enough that Israel puts down its arms and Hamas will sit down and talk? Is that what you think is going to happen?
I think that actually Hamas will be willing to talk to all sorts of people.
Hamas have refused, Lindsay. Hamas have refused.
You asked me a question. Do at least give me the chance,
Lindsay. You have had plenty of chance. You say Hamas have refused to talk face to face with the Israeli Parliament, haven't they?
The Israelis are the people who actually refused to go to Cairo for the talks last week, who said they won't talk not just to Hamas but to Turkey and to Qatar, who are the people who've broken the ceasefire. They broke it last week when they said an Israeli soldier had been captured. That turned out to be a lie, and it was a lie, I think.
You're right, Lindsay, it was a lie. He wasn't captured, he was murdered. And I want to hold on, Lindsay, let me answer your question one more time, please. Lindsay, let me ask you one more question. If you are so certain that Hamas is willing to sit down and talk to Israel, why is it that they have in their charter that they will not be satisfied until the entire annihilation and destruction of not just Israel, but of all Jews? Now, me as a Jew, me as a human being, how am I supposed to sit down and talk to someone, negotiate with someone, when their starting position is, I do not have a right to exist?
Look, let us just...
Please, no, please answer me that question. Lindsay, please answer me that question. I want to be clear. I do not have it... Lindsay, you're interrupting me now. You're interrupting me now. Please let me...
Ladies and gentlemen, Lindsay, he has asked you a specific question, Lindsay. Could you address that?
He hasn't given me time to answer
He's letting you answer it now.
Because I wasn't finished
Rafi, you've asked the question, Lindsay. You can answer it now.
Look, the truth of the matter is that if Israel wants peace in the region, it has to accept the occupation that has taken place since 1967, the displacement of the Palestinians from their land from 1948, and the brutal treatment of the Palestinians ever since. And until we deal with these questions, there are many, many people who believe that what Israel has been carrying out in Gaza have been war crimes. Now, until we deal with these questions, there will never be peace in the region. And let us look at a state like Israel, where every Jewish person in the world has the right to go and live there, but no Palestinian has the right to return to the land they were driven off 70 years ago.
Rafi, what about the accusations that have been made that the old using a sledgehammer to crack a walnut, that the response from Israel has been disproportionate, and that they are bombing UN safe houses and schools? What's your response to that?
Well, I'll start by saying, first of all, Lindsay, you did not answer my question about Hamas's charter calling for destruction of Israel, but we'll move on from that in a second. This idea also of proportionality in warfare is a ludicrous argument that simply does not make sense for a variety of reasons. Number one, Hamas is launching from civilian areas. So what is exactly that Israel supposed to be proportionate with?
Well,
hold on. Let me finish.
Okay, talk about the bombing of UN safe houses and schools.
UN safe houses. How many times now have missiles been found in UN safe houses?
As far as I'm aware, once.
Times? 3 times, sir. 3 times. How many times?
Lindsay, let him answer. Lindsay, let him answer. Lindsay, let him answer. Let him answer.
Lindsay, you want to talk to me about how many schools have been hit in Israel? I can go on and on and on.
How many? 3 civilians have been killed in Israel in this present conflict.
Lindsay, Lindsay, are you going to let me finish?
Lindsay,
are you going to let me finish?
Rafi, listen, I'll chair this if you don't mind. Rafi, go on, your turn.
That's fine. The fact of the matter is, yes, there have been civilian casualties. I don't know where people get this idea that warfare is a surgical instrument, but Israel is not specifically targeting civilians. Hamas has repeatedly said over and over and over again, our goal is to rain destruction on Israel civilians.
What about those 4 boys on the beach playing football?
I want to be clear. That was a tragedy. I don't know the specifics of what happened there. But that was not the intent. Is not to be attacking Gaza civilians.
But why would Israel bomb a beach?
Iain, you and I do not know exactly what happened there. But the purpose of this offensive is to stop the rocket fire and the soldiers who are trying to infiltrate Israel.
It's an odd target to bomb a beach.
Once again, I was not there. I do not know exactly what happened. But where is the uproar of anybody else, of these the Hamas terrorists who are infiltrating Israel to the specific purpose of kidnapping people, killing civilians? If you truly are, and I want to be clear, but if you truly are in support of human rights, Why is it that you are not in support of human rights when it regards to Israeli civilians? Why are you shouting and screaming about everything else but that?
Lindsay, let Lindsay respond. Lindsay?
I'm absolutely in favour of human rights for all people, including all Israeli civilians. That is the honest truth. I regret the death of any single person. But you cannot compare what is happening to people in Israel at the moment with what is happening to the people in Gaza. It is simply grotesque to try and pretend there is any equilibrium between them. There have been 3 civilians killed. There have been no schools attacked. That is not true. Israel has the Iron Dome defense.
Rafi, you've had your turn. Let Lindsay speak. Lindsay speak. Lindsay, carry on.
Israel has the Iron Dome defense shield, which stops virtually all the missiles. So people say missiles have been fired. They know very well most of these missiles go nowhere near any sort of targets. And the truth is, I regret the war. I think many, many people regret the war. I regret the suffering. I know that everybody who dies is a tragedy for their family and friends and for everybody else. But let's not pretend that this is what this is really about. This is about Netanyahu using the kidnapping of the teenagers in June, which he claimed was Hamas. That wasn't true. Using all sorts of other things, trying to get support from governments around the world, when we know Israel is the most heavily armed country in the region. It has repeatedly attacked the Palestinians. This is the truth.
Lindsay,
and it's a truth that you may not like, but it is the truth.
Lindsay, we're running out of time. I think you've had a fair crack of the whip. Rafi, last 30 seconds to you, sir.
Last 30 seconds, I will say that you're comparing this idea that Israel has the Iron Dome, therefore it's not fair for them to defend themselves, which is a ludicrous, ridiculous argument. Israel, if Hamas is such a poor country, where have they gotten the resources to build these terror tunnels with concrete that Israel shipped in, by the way? Where is all these food and water coming in from? It's coming in from Israel. If Israel is so intent on killing the Palestinians, frankly, I'm sorry, they're not doing a very good job of it. They're there to support and defend them. And the problem is not with the Palestinians, it's with the government of Hamas, which, again, I will be very blunt and very clear, has stated repeatedly in their charter are calling for the annihilation and destruction of Israel.
Rafi?
Now, I ask you in that place, what would you do? Okay. What would you do to defend yourself?
Rafi, I've got 10 seconds on this. Just one final question to you. Do you think that people who are in support of the Palestinians and are against the Israeli actions, do you think there's an air of anti-Semitism involved there?
That's not a question I can answer in 10 seconds, except to say when we have countries like, say, Russia who shot down a plane, we don't all of a sudden go and antagonize and threaten death and destruction on all Russians. But I'm questioning, why is it then when we are doing that against Israel? If Israel has done something, why are there riots in the streets all over the world calling for the destruction and annihilation of all Jews? I think you need to seriously ask yourself those questions. Why is there a difference between the two things?
So you just to clarify, you do think there is a hint of anti-Semitism in some of this?
I think it's much more than a hint, Ian.
Rafi, I really appreciate your time. I hope you feel you both had plenty of time. That was Rafi Kaiser-Bluth, rabbi at the St Albans Masorti Synagogue, and the other voice you heard there was Lindsay German from Stop the War Coalition.
This is Iain Lee
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Paul has been producing...
Why the quotation marks?
Again, well, I'm quoting me from earlier on.
Oh, OK, fine.
Yeah, this week, and doing the paper review. It's been not very good, if I'm honest, so I asked Ellis to step in at the last moment, and we had some really good bants, didn't we?
Good bants.
And the thing about it was spontaneous, it was natural, it was funny. You didn't go to the big newspapers, you went to the ones that are normal-sized. So it was. I think people will identify with it a lot. Should we let them have a listen? You listen to this as well, Paul. You might pick up a few tips.
Yeah, I did find something. Did we talk about this yesterday? The train thing?
No, we didn't. This is amazing. You're so good, Alice, because I was going to do that. Go on, this is a great story.
OK, there's a train. A man fell between the gap.
Yeah.
And looking at the picture, have you seen this?
This picture is
insane.
insane.
The gap is tiny.
Paul, have you seen this picture?
Yeah, pictures
it's
don't...
insane.
Pictures,
you should go on the Met line.
She's going to describe it now, aren't you, Alice?
I'm going to...
Describe... She's all right, Paul, don't worry. Describe it. This is brilliant.
OK.
Pictures don't work on radio.
She's going to describe it, Paul.
The picture is... the tagline of the picture is stuck... ...
Yeah.
Man's leg caught in gap.
Yeah.
And the picture...
Already I've got the image in my head, but
the picture is man's leg caught in gap.
Yeah.
And it's a tiny gap, and I'm really shocked his legs managed to get down there.
We're always told to mind the gap, and you kind of think, it's a tiny gap, but this guy didn't mind the gap, and he should have done. And his leg is stuck between the train and the platform.
It's insane.
How did they get his leg out? This is incredible. You're going to like this. Have you heard this story, Paul?
Yeah, I saw the picture.
Okay, but have you heard how they got the leg out?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, it's brilliant. Go on.
Okay,
Go.
passengers rushed to the rescue
Yep.
after a traveller's leg got caught in the 2-inch gap.
Wow.
Staff stopped the service until he was freed without serious injury in Western Australia. And what they did, all the passengers all tilted the train.
They pushed it.
They pushed it.
It's the most. What they did initially, this is great. The guard said to all the passengers on the train, right, we need to stand on the other side of the train to try and hopefully that'll move it a little bit. It didn't work. So everyone got off the train, kids, mums, dad, everybody, and they're all pushing the train to lift it. It's an incredible story. It's an incredible photograph. I've got to say, Alice, it was delivered incredibly.
Thanks.
Thank you. Stay there because we're going to have a bit more of this. This is great, isn't it, Paul? This is what we've been lacking for the last few. This is wonderful. I'm so happy.
You all right, Paul?
Skynes?
Paul?
Traveller there.
Thank you, mate. Never mind. I'm enjoying this, Alice. This is great stuff. Thank you. It has been a tough couple of weeks here on the show as we settle into some of the changes that have taken place. Not all of them successful. It's weird when you get kind of new voices on a show or someone who's trying to push it in their direction. Then sometimes people who feel that they've been downtrodden over the years start to speak up for themselves. I didn't like Justin Dealey's tone of voice on Thursday morning. I thought he was a little bit disrespectful and rude. There are no egos on the Iain Lee breakfast show, but Dealey's, I think, is getting a little bit out of control. And I hold you responsible for it, Scoins.
Thanks.
It's not a compliment.
Really?
There you go.
Right. Hang on a minute. So, significant portion of that, I'd say 80%, was stuck in lift stories.
So who's phoned your programme to say they've been stuck in a lift with Ian Beale, or been in a lift with Ian Beale?
Ian Woodart?
Yes, Adam Woodart. Ian Beale.
Adam
he used to
Woodyat.
have a beard, but now he's shaved it off.
Adam Woodyat.
Yes.
No one's called him because I wouldn't have let them got through. The bullshine filter would have sounded. They would have been cut off. And then you've got some poor fellow who wants to molest Kylie Minogue in a lift.
Who doesn't?
Doesn't matter. Well, no, it doesn't matter if it's in a lift or not. It's still molestation. And then a fella who wanted to go to the first floor and he pressed the basement. I mean, really?
OK, what's the best that you've got then?
No, it doesn't matter what.
You've got?
No, it doesn't matter what. No, Dealey. It doesn't matter. Well, we had Lynn phone in who told us something about lifts.
Oh yeah. Oh, something. What was that then?
I don't remember.
Great call.
You're right. Okay. Are you winding me up?
No.
Are you going to deliberately being rubbish today?
I'm just backing myself up. Listen, I've been out and about this morning for you on the hottest topics, locally, nationally, and then you started talking about lifts.
Is this a joke, Scoins? Is he punking me?
Great job, Dealey. Really.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
I can only do what's put in front of me.
Yeah, and he did really well. And the Boris and the other stuff was great. Really.
The Boris stuff was all right, actually.
Yes.
I quite enjoyed that.
And the breastfeeding stuff was good. And also, footed car parking.
Yeah.
Out there talking to people locally, how about how it could affect their business long term. I'm trying to keep these people in business. We want to be local and vocal. What have you done today? When you go home today...
Hang on, stay there.
What are you going to say to your kids?
I'm going to say Lynn from Bletchley's on the line. Morning, Lynn.
Good morning, Ian.
Now, Lynn, what would you like to say?
I have got stuck in a lift. It was pretty scary. But, and or not, I think if I had a choice, I wouldn't mind getting stuck in the lift with Jonathan Vernon Smith.
Good call.
Right.
It's good broadcast.
Oh, dear. He'd be able to get you out.
Right. He's brilliant. He's a brilliant man.
We're late.
Probably call the company.
He's not. He's a brilliant man. Yeah, right. Lynn.
Great show.
He's a great...
Award-winning. Yeah,
I've won an award. Right. Thank you, Justin. See what you've done, Scoins?
If you hear a whisper, give us a shells.
That's it. That's the podcast. Oh, hang on. These are the best bits from Friday. We're recording this on Thursday. These are the best bits from Friday. Justin, you've been to see these spiders.
Yes, boss.
What did you make of it?
Not a lot.
What? What? He sounds a bit upset, Peter.
He's very blasé, very courageous. He didn't see the tropical tent web spider.
Hang on a second.
Hang on. Sets of eyes on
hang
his
on,
back.
Peter.
Yes.
Are you watching Good Morning This Is Britain on the television?
I'll turn it off.
Yes, please.
I will, sorry.
No, you
Beg
will.
your pardon. It's in the background. Whoa, are you still there?
Just.
Good, I won't...
Yeah.
He's watching Good Morning This Is Britain while he's doing an interview with us on BBC Three
Calibre,
Counties.
yes, we go. Yeah.
Justin, you're right. You sound a little bit down, mate.
That came on whilst I was talking to you.
Oh, it just came on,
it's not my choice of listening.
No.
There we are. Now, right in front of me, I have the tropical tent-wedge spider, which leapt out of my front window.
No, you don't.
Never
No, you
to
don't,
be seen
Peter.
again, I hope.
No, you
And
don't.
a big black widow with a wonderful red hourglass under her belly.
No,
it's
you
the
don't,
female
Peter.
that's more deadly than the male. As so often,
Peter,
we know that.
hang on,
we
Peter.
men, we're softies.
Yes, Peter. Yes,
and then
shut
there's
up.
the
Peter?
what's it called?
I've got no idea.
The
Peter.
Sydney funnel web.
Peter?
Now, I
Hello?
talked to the Australian High Commission in London the other day,
I'll just let him go.
and I said, you're very good at preventing unwanted species from coming in, but you have a big immigrant community, many of whom, for whom millet is a very important staple, and they grow it there for their own needs, because you don't grow it.
No.
And they have a surplus, so be good businessmen and businesswomen.
No idea what you're talking
about. They export it.
Right.
And with that could be coming the Sydney funnel web.
Excellent, Peter. There's a gap there. I'm in there. I've got my foot in the doorway. Justin,
you haven't.
Yeah, I have.
Watch out! Any spiders behind it? Watch out!
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Great bands, Justin.
My goodness me.
You sound like I feel right now. What happened?
Oh, do you know what? Listen, boss. I've had a bad week. The radio car's not working. A mixture of Wheeler and Kahn have messed up the radio car.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on my way back from Sandy to come and see you. Thankfully, I managed to get out of Peter's home. Okay.
In one piece.
Yes, thankfully. You'll hear this report at 10 to 9 this morning. Basically, Peter came on the programme earlier this week claiming he had 12 different species of spider.
More than 4, 20 plus.
Hang on. You showed me an earwig this morning that you said was a spider. Yes,
They are
Yes, you
monkeys.
did, Peter.
I hadn't got my spectacles on. I just climbed out of the bath.
Do you know what
should have phoned me to let me know that you were coming. Sorry about that, but I was expecting you between 7 and half 7. You caught me napping.
Ian,
no, Justin, he's very brave, this Justin. I took my hat off to him because he puts his camera phone so close to what is probably no in the doorway. No. And now that I've looked between the bins, there are nests of spiders. They thought, no, seriously, Justin, if you come back, let me know you're coming, and I will show you.
Can I decline that offer?
Pardon?
Can I decline that offer? Do you mind?
Yes, absolutely. No, I don't mind. No, you were brave enough to be here in the first place.
I tell you what, Justin.
I think you deserve a medal.
Yeah, thank you.
It's okay.
Now, Justin, you do very rarely does anyone get the better of you, Justin, and yet Peter.
He did. Nobody got the better of him. He got the better of the spiders. They all ran for cover.
So, Peter, did Justin see any spiders?
Yes, he did. He saw a big one up in the corner behind the door that leads into the flat. And the problem is, when we go.
Point. I'll ask him. Justin, you had a big one up the back. Is that true?
I did see a big one. Hang on, Peter. Yes, I did see a big one up the back. I have taken a photograph of that. We've sent it off to a spider expert, but Peter claims that this is the most dangerous spider on this planet.
It's the Fulcus, the little one with a body. We've got something like 12 different varieties here, and the Fulcus, we all know it. We call it Daddy Longlegs. But
hang on a minute, a Daddy Longlegs isn't a spider.
It is a
Did we send Justin to go and look at a Daddy Longlegs?
No.
I can't believe it. We sent Justin to look at a
Daddy Longlegs is the crane fly. That's the one you call it. In Kenya, we call the long-legged spiders, very thin legs, the Fulcus, the Daddy Longlegs. They're also known in America as Daddy Longlegs. As what's it called? Ladybirds and ladybugs over there, woodlice are pillbugs. We all have different names, but the Fulcus...
I've got a name for you, Peter.
Can I say one last thing?
Why not, Justin?
Please do. Okay. He's a very brave man, this man, and very good at his job.
Yeah, very, very brave man to look at earwigs. So what you said to me was, there's a white widow here. I went out to look at the white widow, Ian, and guess what?
No,
Peter said to me, oh, no, you can't see the white widow, but the white widow can see you.
Oh, God.
Yes, it's hidden oh, good Lord, it's on a flower bed, hidden beneath everything. I'm not putting my hand in there. The other day when I put my hand anywhere near it, jumped over the egg sac that it was carrying and protected it, glowered at me, and I thought, no, right. I'm not meddling with you.
Peter, listen, Peter, can I apologise on behalf of BBC Three Counties Radio?
I don't need any apologies.
No, I feel I
brilliant.
do. No, I feel I do. Obviously not as good as Good Morning, This is Britain, but never mind. I feel I do. I feel Justin, mate, I feel you've let us down a little bit this morning.
No, he didn't.
How have I let you down?
Well, you went to look at the spiders and you saw an earwig. Why didn't you dig around and find the White Widow?
Look,
no, he did.
I can see what's put in front of me. It took Peter 10 minutes to open his front door, and he greeted me.
You got there early.
To get dressed. I'd just been in the bath for hours.
He greeted me wearing a pirate's hat, took me downstairs and opened his bin, and there was some food waste and an earwig in there. Clutching at straws on the way back, he claimed...
Justin, don't speak to a guest like that, please, mate.
The earwig was potential food. They live under the lid because we're in drought. We're in a drought, and the earwigs live in those things. They're incubating.
Yes.
Yeah, anyway, earwigs are very edible. And they're often eaten by these spiders. They sort of reel them in like... But at the moment...
Please.
Sorry.
Thank you. We're out of time. No, please. Peter, we're out of time. I apologise on behalf of BBC Three Counties Radio for our reporter's attitude. I apologise he got there...
He was brilliant.
He's not.
No bad attitude,
you're very generous. I think he's been disrespectful and rude this morning. Justin,
not to me.
Thanks for listening to this free download from BBC Three Counties Radio, your local radio station for beds, hearts and bucks, on FM, AM, digital radio, and online at bbc.co.uk/3counties.